Good morning, everyone. I am flying solo this morning. Jackie is in the middle of a storm, so hopefully she's okay. Jackie, if you're watching this separately, we hope you're okay. Today's session is going to be a continuation from last time. So what I want to do is review the last page we created, and add some details, add some marketing implementations, let's call them, that are going to boost my conversion rate. And here's my cat joining me today, so I'm not going to be flying solo. Good morning, Tum Tum. Say hi to everyone. All right, excellent. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Guys, before we begin, this is a live Q&A session. Feel free to ask any questions, to leave a comment, to give me your opinion, whatever it is. This can be a lively session if you want it to be. So let me go ahead and share my screen. And as we can see here, we are in our dashboard. This is the updated dashboard. If you haven't been in Builderall since our launch last month, you're going to see this big button, Launch AI Website Builder. We've already gone through and created several websites with this. So I urge everyone to go through. It's a super easy tool to use. And you end up with, honestly, a great website, a great draft website that you can make little adjustments to and launch right then and there. So I'm going to head into my website builder. And we can pick up where we left off last time, which is not here. All right, let's look at a different site. All right. I want to say it was this one. There we go. So last time we pulled up some psychology studies. We translated those to marketing. All right. And what I want everyone to really start to appreciate, which I definitely appreciate, is marketing is sort of applying all of the psychology that we learn. It comes to life through marketing. All right. We pulled up the study. We sort of pieced pieces of information. The beginning screen is the most important screen full of content that we're going to see. And that's why I have this title here. It says 57% of users leave after spending all of their time on your site before the fold. All right. So here there's a couple things we need to do. The image needs to be attractive, the headline needs to be attractive, and we need to really grab people's attention. All right. We always talk about the AIDA principle. Attention in this stage is the most important thing we're after. If we can't capture their attention in the first, let's say, 5 seconds, we've already lost the race. All right. So I want everyone to go back, review your own websites, and really ask yourself the hard question: does my page attract the user? Just attract. Don't try to sell just yet. Just attract their attention in the first 5 seconds. If the answer is yes, you're good. If you're not, then I urge you to review. All right. So the other idea that we wanted to focus on is this here: beware of false floors. All right. What is a false floor? A false floor is, I'll give you an example. Let's say this panel extended all the way down here. Most users know how to scroll, yes, but we want that visual cue that tells us there's more below. If my screen full is this way, you see here all the blue is covering the screen, there's no indication to me that this panel has anything below it. So that's a false floor. If I bring the whole panel up a little bit and show that there's something else underneath, then the user sort of subconsciously scrolls to see what's underneath. All right, so that's a really important thing. Now, the AIDA principle goes on: attention, interest, decision, action. This is the interest phase. Using now you can statements is the best way to really connect with the user's problem. All right, because basically you can say, now you can solve this problem. All right, if you're struggling with lead generation, all right, now you can fill up your calendar with ease. Now you can generate leads at the lowest CPA in the market, something of that nature. A big claim, obviously, we don't want to lie, a big claim that you can actually back up. But we want to attract users, and the best way to do that is to really give them a problem that they connect with. All right. So we'll talk about that a little more. If I tell you a problem, you're not going to be interested in solving it. If I tell you your own personal problem without you expressing it, then you're going to feel, okay, this person is obviously an expert. They've obviously done this before. I'm going to pay more attention. All right. Here we start talking about the calls to action. After we attract interest, we want to make sure that we actually give a good idea, a strong idea of what we do in this panel. All right. Why? Because 70% of the total users leave after this screen pull. All right. So after people scroll through and they continue down to this next panel, most of them leave. Okay. Who stays? Now's the question. The people who are genuinely interested tend to stay. So of all of those people here, I want to make sure that I can message to people that they can trust me. Hey, you can trust me. How do I do that? I can do that by showing testimony. I can do that by showing case studies, a video, user-generated testimonials. So getting my own clients, my own customers to say, this is, a great product or a great service, whatever it is. Celebrity endorsements. And we can talk about this a little bit more because there's this tension between celebrity endorsements on one side and user-generated content on the other. So do we need celebrities like we used to? Is, I think, the biggest question, right? So way back when, if you saw like Michael Jordan has these shoes and they're his shoes, then boom, immediately everyone wants these shoes, right? Today's day and age sort of looks a little different. That still happens for sure, but it doesn't happen with any product. So, think of like here in the US, we have Shaquille O'Neal doing like car insurance ads. That's a little strange. You know what I mean? That's the whole psychology behind it doesn't really apply. I think at this point, people like him and they want to, he's a famous known figure that people like. So, there's that sense, but people don't mirror the celebrity's emotions to the product like they used to. So we can dig into that a little deeper if you guys want to. Otherwise, we can stay here high level and talk about the user-generated testimonials. Nothing is, apart from someone verbally, like someone you trust, verbally expressing to you that this is a great product. All right. The next best thing is watching other users who have seen or have used the product tell you their opinion. All right. So as an example, let's say I have a brand that makes socks, right? So this brand that makes socks, I can just put out all sorts of messages about the quality and the fabric and all of that. But all of that goes away whenever I have a user saying, hey, I tried these socks and they're great and they're worth the money and you should buy them. All right. Or, vice versa. If it's a negative testimonial, then it's sort of a bigger deal. It has more weight because we can see other users have that same experience. From this point, we start pushing people to actually take the action that we want them to take. So why am I doing all of this? I'm attracting their attention. I'm piquing their interest. I'm telling them they can trust me. I'm showing them that they can trust me. And then I'm going to say, do the thing that I want you to do. All right. So either book a call, purchase this product, whatever it is. A lot of times we see nowadays panels post CTA. So after the call to action, we get more panels and more information. I want you guys to really stop and think about what that page starts to look like. For me, it's a great use of space to answer objections. If this was a sales interaction, you'd have the person in front of you say, well, what about this? Well, what about that? Well, what about this? Well, what about that? Right? They'd ask you questions, and you would be able to, as a salesperson, answer those objections one by one. Or if there's something that you can't answer, you can sort of give an alternative. There's a lot of ways to sort of negotiate a conversation. On a website, it doesn't really happen that way, right? On a website, people have their own questions in their mind, and you need to sort of figure out what those questions are and place them here below this first CTA. All right, so I'll give you guys an example. Let's say after the CTA, a user might still have questions, right? So then I bring a panel sort of like this. It expresses a problem solving. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to change here. So express another problem you solve. Instead of another, I'm going to say a problem, because sometimes it's only one problem that you're trying to solve on your page. Okay, that's what I want you to do. After the CTA, if you want to add any content, it should be content that supports the sale. Okay, so here, if you're like let's say a product that doesn't use parabens, PFAS chemicals, anything harmful, you can say that here. All right. If you offer a warranty, you can say that here. If you offer a money back or some sort of let's say some sort of tool that is going to help users feel more confident in the sale, then this is the way to do it. Okay, this is the place to do it. Express a problem you solve. And then here we're back to this decision stage. All right. What we're also going to think about is, does the user trust me? Have I evaluated or have I expressed enough reasons why someone can trust me? All right. If not, I can do that. All right. Maybe a trust bar. Maybe more testimonials. Maybe, something to say, my support team is, best in class. You know what I mean? So best in class. Maybe you can talk about where your support team is based. And then what do? We ask for the sale again. All right. Now your question is, well, Pierre, maybe someone gets here and they don't want to purchase. All right. They're just, they're still in a different stage in their buying cycle. They're still in that decision-making process. I'm on the list of choices that they're going to choose from, but they're not ready to buy yet. What do I do? So here we start looking at softer ways for them to give a smaller conversion. All right. Is this all making sense? I want people to ask me questions in the comments. Obviously, this is a live session, guys. Make sure to ask any questions that you may have, okay? Let's talk about the softer conversions. If someone doesn't want to buy or doesn't want to book an appointment, what if I just give them something to download? All right. Or what if I give them something like, we see this a lot, a newsletter. Although I don't think it ever works, really. Like, it doesn't really no one ever like really downloads a newsletter just because, right? You have to give them a really good reason. Let's look at if we have anything baked here already to look at. All right, matters not here. We'll add a panel here to the bottom, and here I'm going to say if the user doesn't want to convert yet, offer them a softer close. What is a softer close? Any thoughts? Any ideas? Obviously, I'm going to tell you guys, but so a softer close is something like a checklist, right? A free. That's not how you write downloadable. Yeah, it is. Okay. A free downloadable, a percentage off. Let's say, 10% off your next purchase or your first purchase. Something to this extent. All right, now let's do that today. So let's first of all, if you are using Builderall, it's easy as 1, 2, 3 to set up one of these downloadable forms. You just go here under your elements, and you'll find it here under the email marketing form. Or if you want to create an exit intent pop-up, which is what we're going to do next here, this is a perfect use for it. So let's say someone lands on your site, give the socks example. They go to leave, and you say, buy one, get one free, only if you redeem this offer, click below. All right, so that's the actual pop-up. So let's actually implement that. All right, I'm going to head back out to my website builder. I'm going to find my website, which is here. I'm going to go to my website manager, and I'm going to find my global elements panel on the side. And here it's going to say pop-up. We're going to see, this is also the place where I can set up my header and footer. But if you already have a site and you want to implement an exit pop-up through Builderall, you can through this prompt here. But obviously, we're on a Builderall website, so it's going to be as easy as can be. The pop-up name is going to be I'm going to call it soft conversion. Sometimes it's too committal for people to like go ahead and purchase something or book a call. Sometimes it's a little too much for them. All right. So with that in mind, fine. You don't want to convert on the bigger action. Let's convert on the smaller, less committal action. All right. Is everyone familiar with what an exit pop-up is? Let's open up builderall.com, and I'll show you all here. So let's say the page launches, I review, I get started, but then I go to leave. Boom, I get, well, actually I had two here. This one is randomized, and this one here is an exit pop-up. All right. So I go to leave, and the screen changes, and I have to close it before I go. So something like this is actually a perfect tool to use before people leave forever, right? You can keep them in. This is sort of a Hail Mary pass to get them to engage with the site itself. All right. So let's actually look at what we want to do. I want a big text. I want to say something like big offer or a great reason to sign up. That's what I need to focus on. give them something that's actually compelling. If this is not compelling, people are just going to leave. They were going to leave anyway. They're still going to leave. All right. So let's make sure we actually give them an offer that's actually compelling. Okay. I made this too big. Can I add a picture? Yes. Only if the picture supports the message. All right. If the picture doesn't support the message, don't do it. Obviously, on Builderall, you can change the height, you can change the background color, you can add a gradient, whatever that gradient is. So let's say from this pink to I don't know, maybe like we'll try to find an orange, something like this. You guys can get creative. I don't want to show off my design skills here, but nonetheless, we can do something here, throw in a form, get instant access, a free workshop, something of that nature. And if you are using this form, it is fully customizable. You can show the label, you can remove the label, you can show the placeholder or not. You can change the way the form looks, all the font, change the CTA, the font inside, whatever it is. All right. Obviously, don't use whatever combination here. I'm just using this as an example. And once we save and we publish the site. Good morning, Clarabelle. Thanks for joining. All right, so I created my pop-up. I want to apply it to the page. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave, and I'm going to go back to my web page. I'm going to go to my settings. And here on the bottom, you're going to see this pop-up. All right, so in the page, we go to my settings, and under the page itself, I'm going to see header, footer, pop-up. So obviously, we set soft conversion. And then, so on Builderall, you can do multiple things. A time-based pop-up, an exit-based pop-up, and a scroll-based pop-up. So what is that, you ask? A time-based pop-up, I can set it so that when someone spends, let's say, 22 seconds on the page, this pop-up shows up. If I know that a lot of users come and leave, and if users spend more than 45 seconds, for example, on my page, they're more likely to convert. I can set this to give them an added push. All right. You guys need to be super intentional though, because pop-ups do get in the way. All right. They're on your screen. They interrupt your scrolling. So you don't want to do too much or too soon, and you might frustrate people. So just pay attention to that. Scroll-based pop-up is, let's say, I want this pop-up to appear when the user gets to 75% of my page, let's say. So if I know that a user is scrolling to the bottom, so here we talked about problem solving and all the questions that users might have. Let's say I know that when people get here, I want to give them a pop-up to say, if you sign up now, I'll give you free VIP access. And then, that might be that last push. Okay. The third and final one we're going to talk about is that exit pop-up. This happens as I'm going to leave. Okay, so as a user's mouse leaves the confines of the web page, this pops up on the page and says, hey, don't leave yet, right? Or before you go, take this offer. Or if you sign up for this free thing, then I'll give you, whatever thing of high value. And what we need to remember is it needs to be actual value. Otherwise, people are still not going to convert. Does it work? Absolutely. We always see a pretty significant shift in conversion rate whenever the site is using an exit pop-up. As long as, I'll repeat this, as long as the information itself or the offer itself is useful. Don't go throwing out a random exit pop-up thinking, oh, well, exit pop-ups work by magic, and you just throw whatever on the screen and people don't want it. Right? If people don't want it, they don't want it. All right. So I want you all to really think about the offer that you're providing, and the exit pop-up will give a softer close. So if you don't want to book an appointment, take this checklist, take this free checklist that I'm giving. And then now we have their contact information. We can add them to an email sequence and we can nurture that customer. All right. So that's sort of the object. Okay. Let me go ahead and publish and save this guy here. So on mobile, using an exit pop-up doesn't really work because most people don't use mobile in that capacity. They just basically just swipe up or leave the browser. So you can use a scroll-based or you can use a time-based pop-up. I think scroll-based is probably better because it tells us that a user is interested. So here we go. Let me save. Let me republish. And let's take a look at the page itself. Let's see what happens. All right, let's wait for it to populate and take a look again. This has actually been happening on my device. I think it has to do with cache. I don't know if, here, this is what I'll do. I'll add it to the comments here, and you guys can copy it and paste it here on your devices. It should work for you guys. But for whatever reason, here, let me try a different browser. Good old Microsoft Edge. Clarabelle, if you can let me know if you can see this page on your site, it should be possible. But in any case, let's take a look at the preview. So this is the page. What I want people to know is we're going to give this page out for the information it contains and not for the actual design. Don't ever look at designs that I create. All right, Clarabelle. It looks like this page is available. Clarabelle can see it. For whatever reason, I can't on my device. Here is the browser. If you're watching this on the replay, you can copy this here, and hopefully you can see the page as well. When you go to leave, it'll interrupt you with the pop-up that we created. So with that in mind, what can we do to boost our conversion rates on the site, right? So that's what we're talking about. So we added the exit pop-up. What are some other tools that we can use to boost our conversion rate? All right. Maybe let's stop for a second. Since we're talking, these sessions are pretty academic. Let's talk about why a tool can boost your conversions, right? It needs to do one of a few things. My cat is like going crazy this morning. It needs to show people that they can trust you. It needs to show people that you can solve their own problem. So what I want people to do is look at all the tools that we offer, and Builderall actually offers these tools. All of them are for free, and they can be used. The Supercharge bundle can be used on any website, whatever the platform. Okay, so how is that possible? There's one single line of code that you can add to your site, and you can get all of these tools. And that's what I think people need to start utilizing on their site. The browser blocks it anyway. It says it could be phishing. Let's take a look. Maybe it does that. For me, Okay. Google Chrome. Pesky Google Chrome. Maybe it's a. Here we go. All right. There we go. All right. Perfect. Thank you, Clarabelle. I appreciate it. Okay. So we see here, I went to leave and I saw my exit pop up and I have to close it. So here, big offer or a great reason to sign up. I'm going to fill out my name and I'm going to click and it's going to do the thing that I want it to do. All right. This is what I want you guys to do, is to take this page and actually implement this, change the colors, change the image, do the design to match this blueprint. Okay. Don't just copy it as is. Obviously, it's we all have eyes. It's not the greatest design, right? But what I do want people to benefit from is the content itself. Okay, so as users go to leave from this page, let's say they scroll down, they see all of my CTAs, they know they can trust me, but sometimes people, they're not really in the buying mood. Let's say they go to leave, and it gives them a great reason. Hey, take $50 off your first order, shipping for free on your first order, something like that. Give them some incentive to stop and say, hey, do I want to do this right now? Now, another thing we can add is social proof. What is social proof? Social proof pop-up is exactly as you can see here. On this website, we're going to see a small little box appear from either corner. We can set that says, XYZ person did the thing that we want them to do. All right, let's see. Let's look at it this way. All right. Let's create a testimonial pop-up. So example testimonial pop-up. We're going to give the pop-up type. We're going to keep it as testimonial. So here we can actually set the URL that people go to after they click it. I'm going to keep it empty for now, and we're just going to apply it to the page. You can change a light theme or a dark theme. You can change the icon itself here if you have like your own logo or whatever. You know what I mean? You can just throw that in there. And then you can change this pop-up display interval. So every, let's say, 10 seconds, I want the pop-up to appear for 5 seconds. All right. So obviously, if you can use, because testimonial doesn't work quite the same, but you can create like a custom pop-up or location pop-up that collects the information immediately. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and create. Let's do manual entry. John Doe, love the product. Add record, new manual entry. Jane Doe, didn't like the product, but their customer service was excellent. So even something like this actually, and the reason I'm writing it, it actually helps us maintain a level of trust, because someone says, hey, although I didn't like the product, or let's say that the product didn't work for me, their customer service was excellent. And sometimes people like Maggie was great. Maggie was fantastic to deal with. She handled my request quickly and even sent me a pack of stickers. Something like that. All right. Add to record. So let's leave these two here. If you are on an external site, you would need to copy the script and paste it into wherever whatever website you're on. This actually, you need to do this once across all of the supercharged bundle, and they all get verified. But we're going to use this. You navigate to the tool, add social proof menu. All right. Here. Let's see. I actually haven't added this here on the Builderall platform. I've actually only installed it on WordPress, which is funny. But let's see here. Navigate to your website configurations area, social proof menu. So I'm guessing settings. And hopefully I'm not going blind. And this is the part where I wish Jackie was here to help me out. But Clarabelle, maybe you know. Do you know where I can add here this this social proof item? If not, it's totally my bad. I came fully unprepared to this. So let's see. All right, configurations menu, social proof. Interesting. Maybe it's through here. Settings. Well, what I would typically would have done here is I would have grabbed this script and let's see, did I copy it? And basically just throw it into this area here. Let's see if that also works. And maybe we'll hit verify just to make sure that it's on the page properly. At the top. Very interesting. Okay. Obviously, it's a user error from my part, but it's interesting to see if we can. Let's try to see if we can work our way around it and make this happen here. I'm going to hit verify. The script was not found. All right. And builder, the social proof settings, select the pop-up on display, select the pages where you want the pop-up to appear. I understand. So I have to actually go to the social proof tool. And I need to edit. Interesting. Let's see. I think maybe the URL itself is what I'm copying in here. Well, let's see. This probably won't work, but we'll try it out. Okay, we'll refresh. Here, let's ask support here. Oh, all right. You see here at the bottom? Actually, I just saw it. Very interesting. All right, here, let's wait for it. Let's wait 10 seconds and watch it happen. So we added it like we would have on an external site. I'm not sure if there's another way to do it. There probably is. If Jackie was here, she would be able to share that information. But for us right now, I added it here. You see here at the bottom, it says love the product, great quality, all that good stuff. So now let's say we change the settings to, let's say pop-up display is 10 seconds and it shows up every 5. And I'm going to save. And here, I'm going to refresh. This is also a great tool if you have multiple products that you're selling and you want to show different social proofs for all the different products, and people can click on whatever testimonial and they can go to the product itself. Here you can see love the product, great quality, and great service. It's going to show on the screen for 10 seconds. It's going to go away, and then another 5 seconds, we're going to get another one. Here we go. This is Jane Doe. And then we didn't set anything specific when you click on it, but this is also a great way to sort of cross-market your tools. All right. So here we have the exit pop-up because my mouse left the screen. So we're already adding 2 tools here that give us the ability to add to the user's perception of the site itself. Okay, so they go to leave, they get a big discount while they're scrolling through, they get this great testimonial here. And I'm able to, I actually think a dark theme would be better for the site. Let's see, let's open, let's use this icon here. Clarabelle, I completely agree. The revision that adds the stars is actually a great tool. So here we're going to see it. It's going to be dark themed. Here we go. And then if we give users, let's say, the ability to click and go to checkout on something, this is a great tool. All right. So what is a third thing that we can look for? Live chat, obviously, is a great one. Comments autoresponder, I think, is a crucial tool. All right. So because we need to think about the funnel. We only have about 15 minutes. So let me open Canva here. Let's talk about something. So we're doing all this work to create the website. Okay, I want you guys to ask the question, okay, what happens after the site is created? Is it enough? Obviously no. All right, obviously no. What I need is different ways after I create the website. And there's another layer here. After I create all the conversion tools, right? If I create something like a downsell page, if you're not familiar with that, is like, let's say you have an offer, someone goes to leave, you give them a lesser offer, a smaller offer. All right. Downsell page, let's say you give a free workshop, right? You do all the things, and then you create the website and it's great. Now what? Now, part of marketing, or the bigger part of marketing, becomes how do I get users to go into this website? Okay, what are some different ways? This is where we start to advertise. This is where our marketing hat really goes on, and we start to consider all the different ways that we are driving traffic to the site. Okay, all of this is great, but if we don't have enough users, or we don't have the right users coming in, it's not useful at all. All right, you can already see this. I actually like that this tool. We added it. It was sort of a tricky start for me, but I was able to figure it out. I'll ask Jackie next time to show us on stream how to actually do it within the platform. But if it works, it works. I'm ready to launch the page, and I'm not going to let this stop me. Right? Excuse me. Back to here. Let's say your site. I'm going to run some. I'm going to create some blogs, right, to answer user questions. Other than blogs, and if you have any ideas, throw them in the comments. I have paid display ads. I have TikTok Reels, right? TikTok and Instagram Reels. Oh, Flash. I have, let's say, flyers and printouts with QR codes, right? That's actually a great way to get users from non-web to web, is using something like a QR code, a flyer on a QR code, and you distribute the flyer wherever your target audience is. You know, another example could be, you know, paid search. This now becomes my job as a marketer. What is the best method? What's the best tool to use? Where am I getting most of my conversions from? Analytics here is so crucially important at this point. I can't possibly express to you guys how important something like Google Analytics is. You know, regardless of how you feel about the updated, you know, GA4, it is what it is. You need it on your site. So let me show you where to go. On Builderall, you go to your page. You go to your settings. Excuse me. You go to My Pages. You go to your website settings. And then, where are we? Here we go. So you go to your main site, you go to settings on your web, on the general settings, and here you're going to see script. And then here you have your tag manager. Here you have your Facebook, your Google Manager, your Google Analytics, excuse me, your Facebook API token. Add your stuff here. And don't leave the SEO section empty either. All right. All of these are so easily accessible on Builderall that you should be filling these in. The description, your title, all of your alt tags, things of that nature. If you add a picture, make sure it's an appropriate size. Make sure you give it the right title and an alt title. Go through the motions to optimize that page so that it can be found organically on search engines, and now, more importantly, AI, right? So AI is like that new frontier. Make sure that if browsers can see it and the internet knows your website is out there and it knows the content that you're creating, AI is going to pick up the answers from your questions. Okay, so that's how we want to approach all of these pages. We don't want to just create a website. We want to create a mechanism. We want to create somewhere where people go, and I'm applying all sorts of marketing know-how to convert users. I'm not going to have a lot of information up top. I'm going to have one big statement that has attention grabbing power. All right, I'm going to use a beautiful picture. I'm going to use a design that's not overwhelming, right? After this section has grabbed the attention of my customer, they're going to scroll down because I don't have a false floor, right? And then here, I'm going to make them interested. I'm going to tell them, now you can solve your problem, all right? And here, as we can see, as the user scrolls, they get that constant stream of social proof. These are some other people who have done it. We have one version of the social proof that has the location. If you're running targeted campaigns to different locations, that's so effective. If people see, oh, someone else in Florida, for example, also purchased this. Mike in Orlando, Sasha in Jacksonville, all of these people purchased my product and they had great things to say about it. I give a call to action. And then if this call to action doesn't drive people down, I'm going to tell them they can trust me. Okay. I'm going to show them my experience, certifications, people I've worked with before, case studies. Any of these, pick one and do one per panel. Okay. And then the CTA. If the CTA doesn't convert them here, we're going to go back again. We're going to give a problem, tell them they can trust us, tell them, offer the CTA again. You have to put yourself in the mind of a salesperson for this piece. We're leaving the mind of the designer, the graphics, the web development, and we're entering the mind of a salesperson. What does the customer care about the most? What are their complaints? What are their objections? And how am I answering those on my site? All right. And all throughout, I'm employing these tools. Live chat is a great tool because sometimes someone lands here, they have one last question that they didn't see, that wasn't covered here, that wasn't covered in an FAQ. And they want to ask, hey, can I pay month to month, for example? So, you catch them, hey, easily access me through, let's say, WhatsApp. If you're in South America or anywhere outside of the US, WhatsApp is so popular. You can add WhatsApp right through here. And that would be here through this live chat tool. And you can have an attendant, and it opens up like a dashboard. And you can see people in queue asking questions. You can answer them right here very, very, very easily. And it gives you analytics about your chats, your open rates, your solve rate, all of this good stuff. And again, this is provided for free, whatever website you have, Builderall or otherwise. So something like this is a great tool. And then finally, if they get to the bottom, they don't want to convert, give them a softer close. All right, you give them, hey, sign up for the newsletter, get 10% off, get shipping for free, get whatever it is that's going to drive people to leave. And then if they still want to leave, we give them this exit pop-up, and that's our last effort. This is the Hail Mary pass. This is the big thing. Hey, before you go, this is the last chance to get the thing that we are offering. And then if they do it, they do it. If they don't want to do it, you sort of did all you can, right? As marketers, outside of like, go visit their house, So, yeah. So I think this is a great template for us. What I think we should do is maybe get one of our designers to improve this page just a little bit. All right. And then I want to offer this template, or the improved, the polished version of it. Let's get a designer to look at it for a second. And I think we should offer it as a template for all of you guys. Obviously, it would come for free. If you have a Builderall account, you can just easily get this page, implement it, and start to add. So as you're building the website, okay, these are the things that I need to add. All right. And one more thing before I let you guys go. Let's talk about the header, because this page doesn't have a header. And most of that's on purpose. If you're doing landing pages off of ads and off of specific campaign, don't add a header if you think the header is going to take people to like the main site and people are going to go and get lost and confused. keep things tight. Something called walled garden. What a walled garden is you get there, everything's beautiful, but there are walls around that you can't leave. Right. So what we want to do is maybe offer like here. Let me add a panel. It's going to be at the bottom. I'm going to right click my panel, go down in the menu, and I move quickly. And I'm going to drag it all the way up to the top and hit move. Let's go to the top of the page. Here's the panel I created. All right. Sorry, I'm trying to undo. I got rid of some text here. Here we go. This is the move. And I've been told I'm really annoying to watch use the mouse. If you guys agree, let me know in the comments. All right, here we go. And I'm gonna click here, and I'm gonna say logo, right? Because we're gonna throw our logo on here, and we're gonna create this mock header. What is the header gonna look like? We want it to look like a header page, right? But obviously, there we go, something like this. And we're going to add a menu. Actually, not a big menu. We're just going to add a normal menu. If you guys don't know what a big menu is, it offers some really cool options. Here, let me show you on the Builderall platform, on the Builderall site, we use the big menu item to make our menu. So if you look here, you have the 3 different columns, different colors. Look at the solutions. It has this GIF in the middle of the menu. How cool is that, right? That take you to the templates. And so you can get like super creative with these. But I don't want to go that intensive with something like this. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to have this menu. And what I'm going to do on the menu itself is I'm going to have it anchor to the different panels. Okay, so let's say this about. Okay, so let's go through and create a couple of these just to show you guys. So I'm going to click on the panel that I want, and I'm going to go down here where it says anchor. Let's find it. Let's find the anchor. Here we go. Anchor active. And it's going to ask me for a name. I'm going to say top. Okay, because this is the top panel. Then here, I'm going to have it say about. Okay, just to match the menu items. And then let's say services. We'll go here and we'll do services. So now that we've named the different panels, we've given them the names, I'm going to go back to my menu. And I'm going to hit this gear, and I'm going to hit this link, this chain button. And this pop-up is one of my favorite elements in Builderall. It's so helpful to keep everything organized and get access to everything. If you've used like WordPress or any other platform, this is definitely one of the more frustrating things to do. On Builderall sort of solves this problem. So my home is going to be top. About is going to be this about section that I already named. And then services, we're going to have it say, it's going to take us to the CTA. So now I'm going to save. So what did I do here? I gave a menu. I gave a header. It gives the illusion of a full site. All right. Now, if I want to click on it, it'll anchor me down to the panel itself. All right. So here, home brings me up top. About scrolls me down. And services takes me all the way down. So what did I do? I created this container that people stay in. If they go to leave, they get this exit pop-up. As they're scrolling on the page, they're getting the social proof feed, and everything on the screen is there for a specific purpose. All right, everything on the screen is so directive, right? So I'm here, I'm grabbing their attention, then I'm piquing their interest, I'm telling them they can trust me, then I'm asking for the sale. Most websites that I see fail do these things out of sequence or out of order, or they do it too quickly. They ask for the sale too quickly, or the user isn't prepared for what they're going to see next, and that's where people start to miss out on a lot of conversions. So that's enough talk for me. I hope you guys enjoyed today's session. Although Jackie wasn't here, you guys just had to look at me for an hour. But hopefully that was a-okay. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments. But otherwise, thank you all for your time. I appreciate it so much. Clarabelle, thank you for participating and engaging. Everyone else, thank you so much for your presence. All right, excellent. I'm glad you found it helpful. All right, see you later, Jesse. Bye, everyone.